For many years, the people of Israel lived in fear. Powerful enemies known as the Midianites swept across the land. Again and again, whenever the Israelites planted crops, the Midianite armies would appear, destroying the fields and taking the animals. The land was left empty and broken. The people became so desperate that they hid in caves and mountain strongholds just to survive. In their suffering, the people cried out to the Lord for help. One day, a man named Gideon was secretly threshing wheat in a winepress, hiding from the Midianites so his grain would not be stolen. As he worked, something extraordinary happened. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon was surprised and unsure. He felt small and unimportant, but God had chosen him for a purpose. The Lord told Gideon that he would lead Israel to victory against the Midianites. So Gideon began to gather an army. Thousands of men from Israel answered the call and came to stand with him. Soon, a great army filled the hills and valleys. But God said something unexpected. "The army with you is too large." The Lord wanted Israel to understand that their victory would come from Him alone, not from their own strength. So Gideon told the soldiers that anyone who was afraid could go home. Thousands of men left the camp that day. Only a smaller group remained with Gideon. But God said the army was still too large, so the Lord gave Gideon another test. The soldiers were brought down to a river to drink water. Some men knelt down and drank carelessly. Others stayed alert, scooping water with their hands while watching their surroundings. God chose only 300 men. With just 300 soldiers, Gideon prepared to face the enormous Midianite army. That night, Gideon gave each soldier an unusual set of weapons: a trumpet, a clay jar, and a torch hidden inside the jar. Under the cover of darkness, the 300 men quietly spread out across the hills surrounding the enemy camp. Below them, the Midianite army filled the valley like countless grains of sand. At Gideon's signal, the soldiers suddenly blew their trumpets. At the same moment, they smashed their clay jars and lifted their blazing torches into the night sky. Light burst across the hills. The soldiers shouted together, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." The Midianite camp erupted in confusion, startled awake by the noise and surrounded by lights. The enemy soldiers panicked. In the darkness, they began to fight each other and run for their lives. What looked like a small army was suddenly overwhelming. And that night, with only 300 men, God gave Israel a miraculous victory. The story of Gideon reminds us of a powerful truth. Victory does not come from great numbers or human strength. It comes from faith in the power of God.